Hi, this is Yvonne for Central Kentucky Talks, and this evening I have some wonderful guests with me. I have Evelyn Sullivan. How are you doing, Evelyn?
Fine.
Well,
Yvonne.
Evelyn. You know, sometimes Evelyn or Evelyn.
Evelyn.
Yes.
Evelyn.
Okay. Evelyn works at St. Catherine College, RTL 3, so you'll probably run into her sometime talking about books and reading and all that. And then I have my other guest here with me, Vilma Hagan. How you doing, Vilma?
I'm great.
And Vilma is owner of 31E
Bar
and Grill here in Bardstown.
Yep, we do a lot of celebrating there.
You do a lot of celebrating. Well, you know, it's that celebratory season now, and everybody's doing a little celebrating. But we're going to back up a little bit. Thanksgiving just passed. Did we have a good time? Was it a feast or a fiasco?
Oh, Thanksgiving. That was a long time
Time
ago.
A couple of weeks, huh?
Actually, we did have a nice quiet meal. You know, because we work together. My husband is not well, and so we decided to stay at home for Thanksgiving. So it was just a quiet, lovely meal. And a nice meal.
Good. And a little football in the afternoon?
Yes.
Yes.
For him.
Yes.
A book for me.
Parades. Do you guys watch the parades?
Well, sometimes we do, but we didn't this year.
Yeah.
Did you?
No,
We didn't.
I didn't. I think for a few minutes, a couple of minutes or something, but I ended up going to my daughter's in Indiana. And
nice.
It's such a treat anymore because she does Thanksgiving because I just don't have the time anymore. And anyway, she had a great spread and I enjoyed every bit of it. And just as we were getting ready to sit down and serve and have our dinner, my daughter decided to go to the stove to check something on it and decided that she needed to warm her hand up, and she put her hand right across the hot plate and burnt her entire hand. So it didn't end up quite as good, but you know, the food was wonderful. We all ate and sat down, and then we took care of her. It's fine. She's wonderful.
Oh, well, that's good. And you have grandkids too, right?
Grandkids. I have a girl that's 10. In fact, I was with them last night celebrating my daughter's, should I tell, 31st birthday. I'm very proud that I had her. And I have a 14, he will be 14 in April, grandson. So they're divine.
Okay, so whole family thing going on. And then, day after, Christmas shopping begins.
Oh, no. I did that once. I went to Lexington once to Black Friday, and I said, never, ever again. There's nothing I want bad enough to do that.
It's serious.
It's crazy town out there, isn't it?
It is.
Well, you noticed how the retailers, though, they advertise it starting back at Halloween. They start advertising that to get everybody out there. Now, do you really think there was such a bargain that day that you will never see again?
Not for me. No, not for
my
me.
daughter's one. She's one of those that goes out there on that day, and I'd rather sleep. But she said she was disappointed in the things that were offered. In fact, I don't know with any other stores, but she thought that there was a lot of repeat items or leftovers from last year that they were, inexpensive cleaning up. Yeah, but she wasn't impressed. So
I actually too like to shop locally a lot. Yeah. So I think the next weekend wasn't that small business weekend. So I did some shopping. That I enjoy, the small business shopping. I like to do that.
The
locally.
novelty things,
right?
And the unique.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I like that too. And as you get older and you already have everything that you could possibly need or want, those novelty items are wonderful. Those little different things that are different that nobody else will have, or that fit a certain area in your life. So that's always a lot of fun too, to do that kind of shopping. But I know people were up at the crack of dawn. Actually, Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
That is right.
In the evening
right.
of Thanksgiving Day, some of the stores were open, and
Which I think is okay, because there's a lot of people that don't know what to do.
If you don't watch football.
No! They've eaten and they're lazy, and why not shop if you want to?
Yeah. Well, and the stores were
As long as you're not pushing each other down for it. I just draw the line at that. There's nothing I want that much.
Now, there were reports of some pushing and shoving locally as well as nationwide. So
it's not worth it.
What can we do about that? Anything?
I love to say push back. Push them right out the door if they're going to
Just
behave
wait
that
for
way.
small town, small business Saturday. Shop that day.
Shop
I
that-
prefer it anyway.
It can't be, like you said, Yvonne, it's really not worth it. There's nothing out there that could be that
Those
special.
Right. I also like to make gifts, so for me, I'd rather spend the time doing that.
Yeah.
So I've been knitting and
Oh,
I throw
love knitting.
pots, that sort of
Yes.
thing. So
Good.
I've got some things done.
Yes, indeed. Now, for this year's shopping, I know they're saying that the economy is coming back and there's money out there somewhere. It's not at my house. But do you guys have a budget this year that you're going to be using? Any type of budget?
Jim and I have 2 children and 2 in-laws, which we call, so 4 children, and then we have 4 grandchildren. And so yes, we always have a budget. Every year we have a budget, and we try to be somewhat equal in what we do for each child and each grandchild. And yes, always a budget. And actually it has not risen over the years. We keep it about where it's been for years. So
The trouble with our side, though, is that I have a budget in my mind, but this year I was shopping in June and I took advantage of a lot of the sales, the end of the season sales, and did a lot of it. But now, because I haven't wrapped them and I haven't remembered what I bought, I'm buying some more.
Sure. You'll find those, in February or something. You'll be cleaning
So
and find
forget that
those.
budget. That went out the window.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, tell me this: who's the hardest to shop for, you or your husband? Will he say it's
Me.
harder to shop for you?
Oh, I think, no, I don't know. He's hard for me to shop for because he likes tools and I don't know anything about them, and he's a photographer and I don't know how to shop for the photographic equipment very well because I don't know it. I don't know photography. So I often buy him a book, which is what
So you can read it too.
Yes.
But he does love to read. So no, I think he is kind of hard to shop for. I do.
I think with my husband, he's such a big guy and I have to look for the big sizes, and ultimately if I buy something that I'm going to like and I think it's going to fit him, 9 times out of 10 I'm taking it back because it's too small, or the same 2 or 3X size in one particular brand is not the same as the next one, and so now we're marching back to the store, and so he ends up with a lot of t-shirts.
Well, the other thing is my husband is not really into jewelry and clothes and all those sorts of things, and we've been together for a long time, so we have all the novelty items that we can store even. So it does get difficult trying to come up with something that he'll really enjoy. I mean, I don't want to just get him anything, but something he'd really like.
Now, what about, for the kids and grandkids? I know that there are a lot of things out there now that have to do with your digital, or you got your computers, you got your different pads
And they're expensive.
What do you get your kids? What do you get the
Well, you
kids?
can get them those, the iTunes gift cards or the Amazon gift cards, so they can go on there and pick out what they want, because also our grandchildren have the Amazon gift list. So you can go in there and look, and half the time I don't know what it is. I'm reading it and going, what is it? What am I buying? What is this? If I order this for them, and I kind of like to have a feel for what I'm giving them, and that sort of thing. So that's problematic.
I end up having to rely on my daughter because, of course, they all want the electronic stuff and I have no clue. And then it's like, okay, sweetheart, what is this? And you mean it's going to cost me $300 just for that item? And then this one, that's going to be jealous too. And then the other one's going to be jealous if I don't spend that. And it really is.
It's difficult, isn't it?
And they know, though. They know. A 2-year-old will know. They talk about their grandkids, some of the customers in the barn, they'll talk about what a 2-year-old can already do. And, us grandparents are sitting there like, what? How do you even know? How do you comprehend it? But they do.
Our grandson, who is 12, has the same phone as my husband, as his grandfather. So the grandson is teaching the grandfather how to use the phone. Yes, that's where he's getting his lessons.
It's
from the
best thing.
grandson.
Yeah, you have to learn.
You have
ask
to.
them.
Other than that, you're lost or you're
Yes.
left out if you don't get somebody.
And
to
they
help
look at you
with
like
this.
you're crazy. What do you mean you don't know, Grandma? This is it.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, grandmas do.
You know, tell me about it. Or moms. My daughter always tells me, "You don't know what so and so's." No, she goes, "Okay, when I see you next, I'll do this to your phone." Fine, that's wonderful because all I need to do is talk and text. That's it. The other stuff,
On and off.
That's about all I need anyway, all I want. But she insists that I have FaceTime on the phone and
Skype on the computer.
Yeah, and all that. And I thought, oh my gosh, you know, just send me a letter.
What happened to those days?
Send me a letter.
Yeah,
and
no
let's be
wonder
done
the
with it.
Post office is in bad shape
Yes.
because we don't do that much anymore, do we? And I can remember Mum telling me, Vilma, I just couldn't wait. Every day I would go to the mailbox, and if there was a
Yes.
letter in there from you, it was the biggest joy of my life. Was to you actually wrote me today or this year, and it was amazing. But
Yes, and well, you've
Times
seen
have
how they
changed.
write now with the text messages. That's probably the way you'd get a letter. So you probably wouldn't be able to read it, you know, understand what they were saying.
and they do it so fast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, you know, this is a season to be jolly, so there's lots of Christmas music out there that's already underway. Anybody have any favorites?
I heard you speak about that just recently, and I had to stop and think. You said Silent Night was yours, didn't you? I think that Appalachian hymn, I Wonder as I Wander Out Under the Stars. I love that old Appalachian. It's like a hymn and a Christmas song at the same time.
Yeah.
I think Silent Night or Old Tannenbaum, because that's the German and that's
Yeah.
part of my heritage. And we learnt that as children. So we would sing that. I'd sing that in German. So I do that. And I love Alan Jackson's Christmas hymns album. It's a beautiful CD that he
love
came out
hymns.
with last year. And I can play that over and over. Oh, Holy Night, I think, is my
Yes.
absolute favourite. So.
Hallelujah chorus.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Very
There's so
sentimental.
many good ones, aren't
Yeah,
there?
there
A lot
is.
of good Christmas songs that, you know, we were brought up with the Christmas songs, and then like each year you add a little bit more onto it. So you have such a repertoire of Christmas
You do.
songs now. You know, there's hardly any that you go to a program to hear a song that you don't already know some of the words to.
Exactly.
Because we're
And I saw a show on PBS just recently. They're doing a history of music, a history of popular songs like Amazing Grace or Ave Maria, and they did that Alleluia chorus from Handel and from the Messiah. And that probably is the most worldwide popular one because it goes all over the world and they even translate it to other languages sometimes and that sort of thing. But it's so recognizable. That
the music is so recognizable, and the lyrics are pretty easy.
Right.
But you know, you can learn those pretty quickly and pretty easily.
Right.
We used to have a tradition when we were growing up because of my European parents. But of course, we celebrate Christmas Eve, because in Europe that's what you do, and I've continued that with my family. But we would have to gather around the Christmas tree before we could open any presents. My mother would put on some old German records. We had records in those days. And
The vinyl records.
Vinyl. Yes. And we would have to sing every Christmas carol that my mother could remember in either English or German. And then by that time it was like, are we done yet? And then she'd think of another one. But we could not open one present until all those carols were sung. And then it was like, time to open, yay.
That
But it
sounds like Beth talking about her mom and the program that they used to have. But that's pretty interesting, though. How many kids in your family?
Oh, yeah, there's only three of us. Me, my sister and brother. That was enough around the tree.
Yeah, it was.
And then we have to open our presents in turn. Did you all do that?
Yes.
You have to open your presents in turn by age order. Couldn't open any of
I was
yours.
raised in a family of 8 children with my mother, my father, my grandmother, my great aunt. I mean, it was, sometimes I say it was like I was raised in a college dorm. But I don't remember that because there were so many of us that we dove right in.
We do one at a time. I'd open one, then it's her turn, it's her turn, all the way around till we got all of the gifts done.
I
so
think
that,
that's
so
how
that
my
we could
husband
say
and
ooh and ah for everybody's gift,
Yeah,
so you see what they
need to.
got and say thank you, to your
Isn't that
sisters
nice
and all
to
that.
remember?
Thank you so much, blah and whatever, and we get to try stuff on and see.
Yeah, you
and it was
did.
all
You did the
girls, so
parade.
it was funny. It
Yeah.
was all fun.
And then in Australia, because it's summertime there, everybody goes outside and rides their bikes or skates or do whatever. Or then we head to the beach, so that's a tradition. Everybody goes to the beach. So.
My grandmother was born in 1880.
Oh, my
And she
word.
told me she was one of 9 girls, a family of 9 girls, that she could take a dime, a 10 cent, really?
Yeah.
Remember? A dime, a 10-cent
10
piece,
cents.
and buy a gift for each of her sisters and have a little left over because she could go to the general store and for a penny, she could get a bunch of like candy canes or licorice sticks or for a penny, and that's what she would do and wrap them with a pretty ribbon and put a pretty card on them. She'd make herself. So for a dime, she could buy Christmas gifts for all of her sisters, and she was one of 9 girls.
Oh, she
It's
just made it.
amazing, but isn't that amazing though to think
Yeah,
the
dimes stretch so
change
far.
when you're talking about, well, if I don't spend $300 here and I don't,
Yeah.
Oh my.
think of the
is.
difference.
I know. Well, my father-in-law was telling us about his Christmas because he's one of 14. He was one of 14, and he said a good Christmas was when they all got fruit.
Oh,
They got
right.
fruit at Christmas time, or fruit and nuts at Christmas time, and that was a biggie for them. There were no other gifts, and then you went to church.
Oh, yeah.
And you spent the day in church, and then you came home, and I guess you had more families come by and visit and all that. But the big thing was fruit.
Because it wasn't available otherwise. That was such
Fruit was
a
expensive.
Yeah, expensive and such a treat to have at that time of the year because, well, it was only available as canned, where they canned it on the farms and put it away.